funny, right? It's funny.
Serious?
Come on.
Wait. You said Abby. You're looking for an Abby, right?
There is a conversation to be had after Neil Druckmann confirmed that he had a concept for The Last of Us Part 3, or not necessarily a Part 3, but a continuation of sorts. He said that there was one for Tommy, but I'll talk about that in a separate video because I think the Tommy situation needs to be talked about. However, the main crux of the thing is that a lot of people want The Last of Us Part 3 to become open world, because The Last of Us Part 2 had some pretty cool open world segments. So not open world to the extent of Skyrim, but just areas that you could explore and get into and find your way around certain puzzles and whatnot, open safes, find all types of lore in the form of obviously documentation lying about, ammo and crafting tables and other just all other knickknacks and collectibles, etc., like the cards for Ellie and the coins for Abby. But it wasn't open world like Days Gone, like zombie open world. And for me personally, I don't think The Last of Us Part 3 should be open world. I think they should do more of what they did in The Last of Us Part 2. Of course, if it does become open world, doesn't mean I'll hate it. But Gears of War 5 had an open world thing, and it wasn't great. It was just kind of massive open space with not a lot to do in it. You just had to go from point A to point B in this open-ended place, and I wasn't very impressed with it. So I think open world works well in some instances, but there is nothing wrong with a more linear take. Take Final Fantasy 16. I think Final Fantasy 16 was incredible. It starts off very linear, absolutely, I'm not disputing that at all, but eventually it opens up to some open worldness. But what it does is it gets you through the story. Now, not a lot of people like that. They don't like linearity and they like to be able to find their own way, and that's really cool. If that's your thing, and I'm happy for you. Go ahead. But sometimes people like myself who work full-time, have 2 children, or we don't have a ton of time to be able to explore a massive open world and 100% it and stuff like we used to when I was younger. Hell yeah. I mean, unfortunately, the games like that wasn't around when I was a kid. But if they were, I'm telling you, if games like, even all the free-to-play games, but if the games like Skyrim and Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 14 even, and all that, if that was around when I was a kid, I would not have children now. That's what I would just be stuck in those in those worlds. I still remember during the 6-week summer holidays from school, I'd be sat there in I think it was a wicker chair just in front of my Xbox, playing the original Xbox, playing Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and I played that all day. Just sat there from morning until night just playing Knights of the Old Republic. It's a game that I do want to go back through eventually. But again, that wasn't open world. You know, that was just, it had open worldness, but wasn't open world to the point of like the latest Avatar game, for example, and you know, Far Cry, that kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong with a bit of linearity, and I don't think that the world in which The Last of Us is presented would benefit from an open world, because it's very story. What's the word? Story. Basically, it does funnel you down to these specific points for specific things to happen, but in doing so, it also creates a lot of tension and a lot of, moments which are very cinematic. I don't think that would be as easy to pull off in an open world game. I might be wrong; it might be super easy to pull off, but I think The Last of Us formula is fine the way it is. I just think that with the third game, they just need to focus more on presenting whatever story they want to present in a more in a better way than it was presented in The Last of Us Part 2. Because I've mentioned it before, I don't think the story is terrible. I just think it was jumbled and told in a really weird way. But that's just what I think. Of course, everyone has their own opinions. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think The Last of Us Part 3 should be open world, or would you rather it stay the way it is now? And as always, thank you very much for watching.